Meghan has always given off the impression that she would cause problems for the royal family. Red flags were already there at her royal wedding, which was supposed to be the most joyous and unifying day of her life. These 10 actions by Meghan on her wedding day demonstrate that she wasn't there to fit in. She was there to change the narrative. The most obvious indication that she had bad intentions for the royal family was the 7th one, so be on the lookout for that. On camera, Meghan was seen smacking the hand of an elderly assistant who was genuinely attempting to assist her. The video is startling. Her heel becomes caught, and you watch the helper stretch out courteously, his hand steady, ready to help. It appears to be a typical royal moment for a brief minute. Then this occurs. Meghan glares at him after swatting his hand away. It's all in the poor man's face. He seems shocked, even ashamed, as if he was still in shock at what had just transpired in front of everyone. An act of goodwill quickly devolved into humiliation. Meghan, however, left as if nothing had occurred. As cool as ice, so insane. Let's get started. A closer look. Here, I need assistance. My shoes got caught. I managed to get it uncaught. And then, boom, the hand was smacked away, not even looking him in the eye. He is taken aback. Oh God, I need assistance leaving. And I got my heel stuck in my dress. You idiot, get your hands off me. Micromanaging the cuisine given to your guests on your wedding day is the last thing you should be concerned about. Meghan, however, was not going to accept that. The dinner wasn't cooked the way she wanted it to be, so she reportedly went behind the scenes and blew off at the personnel, in particular because it didn't satisfy her vegan requirements. She claimed that the dish had an egg flavor. She turned the day into one about control rather than love, happiness, and celebration. That sort of conduct wasn't primarily about eating. It has to do with control. Imagine how she would act when no one was looking if she could treat employees that way over a menu. Brides customarily present their wedding gown to the Queen in advance as a sign of respect for the monarch. They even inquired about the Queen's tastes and recommendations. The Queen was, after all, the one who had to pay for it. Meghan, however, disregarded this custom entirely. Although she had the Queen pay for her pricey outfit, she wouldn't even offer her a sneak peek before the big day. This was perceived by many as disrespectful and contemptuous. According to insiders, the Queen was taken aback by Meghan's decision when she eventually watched her walk down the aisle. She even told close friends that the gown was too white, given that Meghan was divorcing. I believe it's a bit vaginal, don't you think? You don't. You're quite chaste and haven't had many affairs, been married, or done anything similar. Additionally, I believe it was for your first marriage, and I believe she didn't like it. This audacious action made a strong statement. Even the Queen couldn't stop Meghan from doing things the way she wanted to. Numerous royal weddings, christenings, and burials have taken place at St. George's Chapel. The chapel's age, history, and even musty odor are all part of its legacy. However, Meghan wasn't thrilled by the chapel's historical odor. In order to cover up what she described as the old royal smell, she allegedly insisted that air fresheners be sprayed throughout the chapel. Employees were incensed because they thought the request was blatantly disrespectful and irrational. She wasn't merely ignoring the odor. The institution itself was being rejected by her. At royal weddings, seating is typically carefully planned, with senior royals occupying the front rows. However, Meghan disregarded this rule and gave her buddies in Hollywood high-profile jobs. While those royals who should have been there were pushed farther back, famous celebrities and TV hosts were treated like front-row seats. The royals were insulted. It was Hollywood, not the House of Windsor, that Meghan was loyal to. Meghan's influence over the guest list was yet another cause for concern. She reportedly pressured Harry to exclude several royals and even close pals, including some of his former Afghan military colleagues. These were men that supported him no matter what. But all of a sudden, they were shut out because Meghan demanded complete authority. Because he claimed that Harry had changed significantly since meeting Meghan, even Harry's best friend was not invited. It's possible that Meghan forced Harry to make this choice, but Harry bears equal responsibility. According to multiple insiders, she was impatient with children. As Princess Charlotte passed by in the chapel, Meghan Markle was seen giving her a death stare. There was apparently more animosity behind the scenes than there was on camera. Meghan flatly refused to allow the bridesmaids to wear tights or socks, despite the parents' complaints that the shoes were hurting their kids' feet. The story didn't end there. According to reports, Charlotte was even removed from Givenchy's seamstresses, were forced to substitute the dimensions of another child in place of the dress fittings. It makes sense why her dress didn't fit her well on the special day. And reportedly started crying after Meghan Markle made a negative comparison between Princess Charlotte and the daughter of her best friend, Jessica Malone, at a bridesmaid fitting before the royal wedding. Oh no, families typically come together for weddings, but Meghan turned that custom on its head. Her whole family, with the exception of her mother Doria, was cut off, out. No cousins, no siblings, no father. She stood by herself, which many perceived as calculating and frigid. Who gets married without family support, particularly in a world like this? Meghan did. She appeared to be trying to forget her background and ashamed of her family. What hope did the royal family have if she decided they were no longer valuable, though, since she could so easily cut off her own family? The royal wedding invitations for Markle and Prince Harry have been distributed. Being too arrogant to make amends with her father, she allowed Prince Charles to halfway down the aisle walk her. She excluded her father and even other family members, even though he was meant to perform the honor. Her father's responsibilities had to be filled by Prince Charles. Music. According to insiders, Meghan insisted that she would walk the first half of the way alone and only consented to let Charles escort her halfway down the aisle. This might have been an act of ego, a declaration that she intended to demonstrate her strength and didn't need anyone's assistance. Princess Diana's favorite flower, forget-me-nots, was a must for Meghan's bouquet. Roses, who was a kind of archetypal English rose. However, white forget-me-not KNS also played a significant role. On the surface, it appeared to be a heartfelt remembrance, but others charged her with using Diana's legacy to win sympathy. The alleged conflict with the florist over this request simply served to confirm rumors that Meghan was imposing her story on every aspect. Rather than paying any respect to Diana, the world was shown Meghan's wedding as a fairy tale. But there were 10 serious red flags hidden behind the curtain. What caught your attention the most among these? Tell us in the space provided for comments. For more, remember to subscribe, like, and share. See you at the next, and share. See you at the next.